Welcome back. Organization Humanity, Optimism, Opportunity, and Diversity, better known as HOOD, is on a mission to create better outcomes for kids and teens in lower income communities. Joining me now to discuss the organization and its efforts is co founder and president Mohamed Magassa. Mohamed, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me on here. It's a pleasure.
Now, can you tell me a little bit more about your organization, Hood? The last time I met and saw you all, you were giving away backpacks for, back to school. So I'm curious to know, can you just tell us overall what your organization is all about?
Sure. As you mentioned earlier, I am a co-founder and the president of Humanity, Optimism, Opportunity, and Diversity, also known as HOOD Organization. And I also have two partners on the team, my older brother, Mohamed Magassa, and my childhood best friend, Travis Sika. And so a little bit about HOOD Organization. HOOD is a youth-led organization that is designed to guide and inspire individuals to shoot for their dreams. And HO sets out to prevent the youth from succumbing to negative influences within our communities, which may ultimately lead them to their demise. So what we try to do is just expose them to both professional and entertainment careers, which will allow them to spend less time on the streets and more time on what they want to become in the future.
Now, as a co founder, can you just tell us a little bit what inspired the creation of this organization and maybe detail, when the moment that you knew that you wanted to be a part of something like this?
Yes. Growing up within the hood, like not only are we from the hood, but we noticed that people usually gave the word a negative connotation. And that's something that we really wanted to change. So we decided to put it in a positive light. And that's how we decided to make HOOD an acronym. And so HOOD stands for Humanity, Optimism, Opportunity, and Diversity. And those four words are something that we value, lessons that we try to give to children. And so they can definitely grow into successful leaders. And so we also started this organization because growing up, we definitely had the entrepreneurship trait in us, in which we didn't have too much resources, but definitely had ideas that we wanted to try out. So I believe that's like a big significance in which how we started HUD.
And can you actually tell me when did this organization start? Like what year?
Yes, this organization started in 2019. And yeah, we recently got our 501c3 status is certified by the government. So that's amazing.
That is amazing. Now, can you tell us why did you want to specifically focus on families from low income communities? And, what are some of the obstacles kids and teens from these communities face?
Yes, so we actually wanted to work with families from low income communities because we come from low income communities ourselves. And we feel like that is the location where there is less resources, less money, and just less opportunity. And so that's something that we definitely would like to change. As we go on with this organization, we try to help wherever we get a chance. And yeah,
And what
and
are,
some of
yeah, some of the
I'm so sorry
obstacles
about that.
that kids and
Yes.
teens from those communities face?
Yeah, some of the obstacles that they face are definitely there's an undersupply of opportunities that can definitely have them see what they want to become in the future. There's definitely violence that impacts not only the youth but everybody within the community. And usually when there is like high poverty, there is a high crime rate, and so that's something that we definitely got to keep our eye on and definitely see how we can balance resources within our communities.
Now, aside from the economic aspect, how is it more challenging growing up in poverty or in a low income community compared to other communities? Like, what are some things that you see other communities get that, we don't necessarily get over here?
Mhm. So just growing up in poverty, there is a lot of differences, especially when it comes to like not just creating bonds with the youth or within our environment, but just the interactions that we have. So just living in poverty, I feel like it puts a huge limit on the way that we think and what we believe we can achieve, especially when it comes to our dreams. But we really try our hardest, no matter the environment that we're in, the circumstances that we have. We really try our best to make it out, to really see how we can input into the lives of the youth give them guidance, and some mentorship, and definitely, things that we see that we don't have necessarily are like, let's say, for example, new parks, or just new opportunities when it comes to big brands. So those are things that we try to definitely bring over to low income communities here within the Bronx and all over New York City.
And I also want to add that I think it's just important because there is this this rift or this uh, awkward relationship between members of low income communities with FDNY or the NYPD. So I think it's great that you're trying to strengthen that relationship. Now, I also think it's important to note that a lot of the leaders in your group are men. Why was that so important to have that kind of representation, especially in communities like the ones we have here in the Bronx?
Yes, we felt like it was definitely important to have this type of representation of, all Black men on this organization, because we want the youth to realize that you don't have to wait until you're like set to start giving back. That's something that we decided to do the moment that we had the chance, the moment that we thought it through, the moment that we, decided to reach out for some resources. And so we definitely tried to impact the youth, but just to make people see that they can, really do anything that they put their minds to. So having this organization full of young Black men like ourselves, we want other young Black men to know that they can definitely be in the same position that we are in now.
And I like that you mentioned young because I do also think that's very important. A lot of the times, youth, they kind of want to attach themselves to something cool. But if they see people who look cool doing this kind of work, it kind of will encourage them or inspire them. Can you talk a little bit more about
Yeah.
why that's important as well?
Yes. So that is very important because growing up, we didn't see too much people like ourselves, giving back. And so there's like so many things that you can choose to do, but giving back isn't the first thing that comes to people's mind. So well, to go deep into my background, in the year of 2007, my family experienced like a tragic house fire, and it was Delhi house fire, and basically it was a time that we really lost ourselves. It scarred us a lot, and definitely the community came through and they supported us in a time of horror. So I feel like that's something that truly made giving back 100% must for us in the future. And now with Hood, we're bringing things to life. And yeah, a huge thank you to the community for helping us out through that hard time.
And I'm really glad that you shared that because I think it's so important that, communities like the Bronx, we do stuff for one another. And, can you just talk about the importance of just having, people like yourself or people who are just, giving, available to communities in the Bronx?
Yes. So to have people that love giving available to people in the Bronx is definitely significant when it comes to impacting the lives that are around us, and just the environment, and just taking it into a positive direction. So we feel like just giving back that should be something that everyone does, no matter what you have, big or small. There's just a different type of feeling that comes with it, and yeah, that's something that we should definitely make a must for everybody.
Now, I want to quickly talk about, the collaborative work that your organization does because you do a lot of it in order to help the community. Can you tell me a little bit more about, just the collaborative work that you're interested in or that you do?
Yes. So, starting the organization, we didn't have too much resources. So we definitely looked out to a lot of the organizations like within our community, or just the big brands that we always wanted to work with. And so one thing led to another, and we was able to get into a great cohort called the Elevating Black Leaders in Sports, which is handled by Laurier Sport for Good. And they was able to connect us to a lot of people. But it's just connections like that. We're able to grow our network. We're able to see how we can grow our impact, and that truly helps when it comes to just moving the organization forward and impacting lives around us.
Now, can you just let everybody know how they can get in contact with you or your organization?
Yes. So they can get in contact. Sorry. So everyone can get in contact with our organization by visiting our website at www.hoodorganization.org. We have a lot of content on there, and they can also visit our Instagram, IG at Hood Organization. And so we definitely have plenty of upcoming stuff. And yeah, please feel free to tap in and stay in contact.
Mohammed, thank you so much for joining me. It was a pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much for having me. Truly appreciate this opportunity.
That's all for our show today. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Kibin Alleyne, wishing you and yours safety and wellness now and always. See you next time.